All right. This game had the most consequential injuries for both teams that they pretty much could have had outside of Jimmy Butler getting hurt for the Heat. But the Miami Heat went into Milwaukee and upset the Milwaukee Bucks 130 to 117, mainly because Giannis Antetokounmpo played 11 minutes after suffering a back injury. Giannis does this thing where he flies to the rack, and usually his opponents are the ones feeling pain, but he kind of got turned around, landed on his back, and they're saying it's a back contusion, wasn't able to continue. As someone that's had back injuries before, right? Like, if your back isn't there, you have no burst, you have no lift, it's just, you can't really do much. Like, your back is super crucial. I'm hoping that they're not going to find like some small fractures in his vertebrae. That's happened sometimes to NFL quarterbacks when they get hit really hard. They'll have like these like really small breaks that they can play through, but it's very painful and they're hard to pick up when you first try to diagnose it. So I'm hoping Giannis will be able to play again this series. And if he does, I'm still picking the Bucks. Like, as long as this series doesn't get to 3-0 Heat, I'm picking the Bucks to win it if I know Giannis is coming back. For the Miami Heat, Tyler Hero broke his hand. That's a big loss for them. Obviously, it's not as big a loss as Jimmy Butler would have been or Bam Adebayo would have been, but they really fucking need his offense. And this game, I'm not gonna lie, if you're a Heat fan, I would not be celebrating like we are gonna win this series, even if Giannis doesn't play. You guys shot 60% from 3-point range, and you won by 13, right? Like, you scored 130 points against the best defense in the league. You gave up 117. I just, to me, Jimmy Butler is great. Jimmy Butler is awesome, but like, I just don't see that Miami having another 3-point shooting performance like this for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, this is the series I kind of want to talk about the least and was least looking forward to talking about because what can you say? Like, Giannis played 11 minutes, so everything from that point on is kind of a moot point. And like, if it turns out that Giannis has to miss multiple games, the Bucks might lose the series because they're kind of built around the best player in the world. So if they don't have the best player in the world, they're just not the same team at all. Like you would not build a team around Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday. That's an 8 seed, so it's just, and then Hero's out too. I hate injuries, man. What can you say about this? I think the Bucks are a way, way, way better team if they have Giannis. And so it's just going to come down to whether they have Giannis. Not much depth of analysis in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I know you say without Giannis, the Heat could win, and that's true. They would have the best player in the series. I would still take the Bucks just on account of the Heat took 25 threes and made 15. The Bucks took 45 threes and made 11. Let's just say those normalize let's just say the Bucks hit 33% of their threes. That's not even a good shooting night. That gets them up to 15. They hit 11 plus 4. That's plus 12 points. Suddenly, that's a 1-point game. Let's say the Heat don't hit 60% of their threes. Let's be nice and say they hit 50%. That's a Bucks win. Right? Like that to me is I just can't back the Heat where you have that much of an advantage in that category without their best player and you only win by
without
13.
Let me just say this. That's fair, totally fair micro analysis, but in the macro, my thinking is just like Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero is a much better
Well, no
core.
Tyler Hero. That's the thing. No Tyler Hero.
Oh yeah, no Tyler. Yeah, right. So he's gonna be out, I guess. Okay. I still like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo a little better as a duo than Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday.
I like it a little bit better as well, but let's just go talk about like the supporting pieces, right? Like, we haven't brought
You're
up
right,
Brooke
actually.
Lopez, that maybe defensive player of the year, right? Like, very, very, very good player.
Yeah.
Didn't have a great game. Um, just talk about the bench pieces, right? Like Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder, Wes Matthews, Javon Carter, right? Like, this
No, I've
team.
changed my mind. You're right. You're right, man. Even if both the players are hurt, the Bucks are probably still a better team. I agree. The
Yeah,
supporting cast is much deeper. Uh,
but they got to
I guess the
win.
next best player on the Heat is what, like Caleb Martin, probably,
Uh,
or or Max Struss, maybe.
Max Struess. Kyle Lowry, if like, he goes back to that 30 point, performance off the bench against
I
the
would I
Hawks,
wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't count on that either. But yeah, maybe. I mean, it might be Udonis Haslam. Um,
Let's get past this one, man. The series sucks.
I mean, it sucks because it's so hard to have any real analysis outside of the Bucks are probably the better team, even without Giannis.
And
And
so clearly with Giannis. And if Giannis gets back and Hero is out, I mean, forget about it for Miami, right? This one game
yeah.
is the high water mark of the season.
But before we get off, there's just two things I want to mention for about the Bucks in terms of their championship odds because of this. First, Chris Middleton looked way better than he had during the regular season. That's a huge bonus, right? Like if he is this type of player throughout the playoffs and they get Giannis back at full force, Bucks, Bucks and six, right? Like that's good. Like I think they will be easily the best team. But losing this game is real shitty for them because it looks like Philly is going to steamroll and Boston's going to steamroll. And every extra game you have to play in what's going to be a bloodbath of an Eastern Conference, like that's the thing. Like they got to get their shit together. They got to win game two, obviously, but they got to take care of business in 5 or 6. Like this cannot go. If it goes 7, it's just hurting their championship odds because the amount of energy you need to expend. You have a finite amount of energy in a playoff runs, in my opinion, and you do not want to waste it beating the shit out of the Miami Heat or battling with Miami Heat.